The story continues, and we'll come to some cute episodes now. There are countless episodes. And there are teachers there are spiritual teachers in India who simply focus on telling baby Krishna's tales. That's what they do. They get up in the morning and they talk about baby Krishna in the afternoon, at night. And baby Krishna idols are available, tiny baby Krishna idols, murtis. And they're also known as Laddu Gopal. Laddu is like a sweet, a dessert, and Gopal is another name for Ishvara, Krishna. So Laddu Gopal is a chubby, beautiful child with curly hair and remarkable eyes and beautiful childlike talk. What I love in these teachings is that Krishna is not shown beyond his age. So, for example, when he's 2 or when he's 4, he has very 2 and 4 appropriate behavior. So one of his love was to eat butter, and he couldn't have enough butter and ghee, homemade butter. He just couldn't have enough of it. And Yashoda would feed him, and he would want more and more and more. So these pictures are very famous if you look up Baby Krishna or Laddu Gopal, where he's eating this home churned butter and he just loved it. But you know how children want more of something? He wanted more of the butter. And so what do little children do when they want more cookie? They put their hand in the cookie jar even if mom says no. So we have little Krishna stealing butter. So I just love the story of Ishvara manifesting in a human body and then doing childlike pranks with Balrama. Here they are scavenging the kitchen when mother is away. They would not only do that in their home, they would also do it in other homes around them. And when those cowherd women called gopis would come and complain about Krishna, their mother would want to spank them, and then they would hide. And then they would come and they would talk to Yashoda. But the fun thing is that they would come with this fierce expression to complain about baby Krishna. But then after a while, they would go into a trance and they would start saying, I wonder when he will come and steal again. I wonder if I should hang my butter pot a little low. So their conversations would change because these gopis were in a state of love for the baby, and their complaints and their anger was really just a way to engage, because bhakti is engagement with Ishvara. It was their way to engage. So their anger was they were angry enough for Krishna to hide, but really it was them running after that baby. They were all just officially crazy for Krishna. And Krishna had them all around his little tiny finger. And this is what went on in Gokul, apart from many other escapades which I haven't shared yet. So once Yashoda was trying to teach him a lesson and he was fidgety, so she took some soft rope. It was not abuse. It was just like, here, you stay here. Now you stay here. So she kept him. So we are tied to Ishvara, but she tied up Ishvara. So please understand the symbolism. It's like we are the children of Ishvara, and Ishvara, without that great power, we have no food, no clothes, no roof, no parents, no self, no intellect, no senses, no brain, nothing. And here we have the devotee feeling empowered and saying, I'm going to tie you up. And Ishvara is humoring his mother, saying, and get this, he's saying, well, I didn't even plan to steal this. Balrama convinced me to do that. So you know how children tell tales or prattle about their siblings. So we have little Krishna saying, I didn't do it. I was brainwashed. That's what he's saying. And she's like, mm-hmm. And then she starts grinning and they all start laughing and then the ropes fall away on their own. That's a beautiful. Actually, this rope tying is a really beautiful way that when we love that murti or when we love Ishvara, we can be more empowered and we can say to Ishvara, um, I will clothe you, I will dress you, I will I will put flowers in your hair. You can imagine that, whether it's baby Jesus or a baby angel, whatever version you want. And you will experience the joy of parenting such a divine child, really. I don't remember what else is in the PowerPoint, but I think there is another story of Ishvara eating, Krishna eating mud. Is that photo there, Ishani? Yeah, please show that then. Yeah, so he had been eating butter, and, and his friend said, your mom will check your mouth. So he stuffed it with mud. And then when Yashoda said, open your mouth, let me check. Well, guess what she saw? She saw entire galaxies there. She saw in his mouth the whole Brahman, the whole universe, emerging, manifesting, dissolving, and she went into a state of trance. I really wanted to make this video, but in my home in India, we have a tiny murti of Krishna, and my sister-in-law in love, she sings him good morning in Sanskrit, bathes that murti, puts fresh flowers into that murti, offers that murti breakfast, and then eats the breakfast. And then at night, no matter what's happening, she sings it good night and talks to that murti. And that tiny murti, while she's doing all the parenting, she feels like she's parented completely. So it's a role reversal. We always look at Ishvara as our parent, but here we see Ishvara as our child. But what we are still flowing in both these conditions is love. And that love just softens the heart, melts away impurities. I'll make a video next time. It's really beautiful. And no matter how busy she is, she's like, oh, my baby Krishna is waiting. So it's an example of her parental association. Is that the last image?
There are just a few more beautiful ones.
You could show them. Yeah. So this is baby Krishna being adored. As you can see, baby Krishna has a dark blue skin. So there's a bluish hue to Vishnu. Just grew up to become a renowned teacher. And this is the great Yashoda and Krishna. Here are some more images of some beautiful artists celebrating the love. And I think it's kind of keen that it was not his biological mom, because a lot of us biological moms, we love our babies and we love our kids and our pets. But what I'm talking about is the love of Ishvara. The love of Ishvara. And so Yashoda and baby Krishna's relationship is exemplary of that love. It's lighthearted, it is sweet, it arouses within us affection, joy, and imagine the great power, the supreme self of the universe comes to you as a 2-year-old. Just imagine that. Imagine that child looking like the way you look, or the way your version of Ishvara looks. That's okay. Doesn't have to wear these ancient Indian clothes. Even Indians don't wear those clothes. But just imagine what Shakti would be coming through those eyes, what aroma through that skin, what texture of that skin, what would be the feet like, what would be the toe like, what would be the nails, would they be shining pink, what would be like, and what would be the shine on the face, like 1,000 full moons? What would be the hair, like a cloud of tresses? What would be the eyelashes like? And what would be the joy and simplicity? If you imagine that, then you'll find that you're just like relaxing. You're going into a state of love. So Vatsalya Bhava is another emotion. And sometimes if this topic is new, you're like, oh, that's strange. Yeah, maybe the Hindus can do that because they've grown up with Krishna. A thought like that can come in, but if you just open yourself up, then you don't know how Ishvara will come into your heart. So it is not that there was a text written on 5 types of ways to do bhakti, and then Krishna manifested and then acted according to it. No, Krishna manifested, did his leelas, divine play. It was later that we understood why the gopis were fascinated, why they would drop everything and come to complain and then sit around the whole day and not leave Yashoda's house. And why they would make more and more butter and hang it low so that Krishna would come with his troop. What was going on? In fact, as Krishna grew, still a teenager, and there would be these 50-year-old, 60-year-old gopis, and they would forget to button their clothes or cook their food or wear their jewelry when he would just simply play his flute. Oh, yeah, I can just imagine the ecstasy. And then some critics, there are always critics, was like, oh, this is too romantic. This cannot be divine. Oh, the gopis were all sexed up. No, this is beyond gender. The gopis were both men and women and other gendered beings who forgot to wear clothes, comb their hair, feed their children, milk their cows when Krishna, that baby Krishna or that young Krishna, played his flute. They were all officially infatuated by this young child that was growing up in Gokul. And I imagine that. What would happen to me if I had the ultimate presence, the ultimate source of this universe show up as a 9-year-old, 2-year-old, 12-year-old? Wouldn't we know? Wouldn't we know? We would know. And that is why it is said that when Krishna left, when he grew older, like maybe 16, 17, he left Gokul to go to Mathura and take revenge for his parents, and then went on and became a statesman and taught the gospel of the Gita, and he didn't come back. And it is said that all the gopis kept waiting, and then they became the trees over there. They're still waiting. So it is like bhakti all the way. The wait, the yearning, the complaints, the scolding, the tying, the untying, the trance. All of this is just stages of bhakti, which I'll talk about to you later. But when we allow love to flow between two humans, magic happens. But when we allow love to flow towards the divine, then we become divine. We become elevated. We go beyond magic to hold the key to all magic. And this is Vatsalya Bhava. And if you were ever to encounter Ishvara in your vision, in your reality, in any one of these forms, how else does Ishvara come and give you some guidance? Sometimes as a friend, sometimes as a master. Like not a master like boss, but as a higher figure who you serve. And sometimes even as a child. Sometimes it is from the child's speech that parents learn something. And who is dwelling in all of these? Ishvara. That is why these bhavas, they help us be unstuck from having this very formal, rigid, set approach towards Ishvara. We may have externally any approach, but internally it's super fluid. And I like that. Yashoda and her frustration with her toddler and her protection of her toddler and her love for her toddler, all of that, it's a whole gamut. But at the core of it is her recognition. She knew that this is no ordinary child. She knew. So these things can be spoken, but it's not, I cannot convince you. That's not the purpose anyway. But if you stay open to the idea, then perhaps you will have some encounter. So with that, I conclude my satsang on Vatsalya Bhava in Bhakti. Jai Maa.